poll reveals Pheu Thai's prime ministerial candidate Yingluck's leadership is perceived to be advancing, while the public perception of Apisit's leadership skills seem to be lagging. Thai National Police were having investigations into early signs of gambling for the July 3rd general election, particularly through websites. The European Union officials will focus on preparing a new aid package for Greece. Update the news around the world with Onrawi Tangmi Sang and Patsurang Desha Putharangsi in ASEAN Newsroom.
Good morning and welcome to ASEAN Newsroom. Today is Monday, June the 6th of 2011. You with me, Onrawi Tangmi Sang.
And I'm Patsurang Desha Putharangsi. Kun Onrawi, we're looking forward to see the final result of the July 3rd election, aren't we?
Definitely, and I'm so thrilled to see who will become the next Prime Minister.
As Thailand is looking forward and awaiting to see who will lead the next government based on the July 3rd election, the latest ABAC poll reveals that Pheu Thai's prime ministerial candidate Yingluck Shinawat's leadership is perceived to be advancing, while the public perception of caretaker Apisit Wechashiwa's leadership skills seemed to be lagging. In a survey conducted from May 30th to June 4th to gauge the leadership skills of Apisit and Yingluck among people aged over 18 from 17 provinces, including Bangkok, figures revealed that the perception of the Pheu Thai prime ministerial candidate has increased significantly in all aspects, namely her leadership role, as well as local and international acceptance. Her leadership role has jumped from 12.9% to 32.5%. Although this figure is comparatively lower than Apisit's current 47.7% status, ABAC poll reveals that Apisit's leadership status has remained stagnant comparing to a similar survey conducted earlier. ABAC poll director Nopadon Kannika says that the one method to increase public support for either party was for the politicians to show themselves in action to the people rather than a mere public debate between the two parties. Nopadon says such actions included how they were going to deal with the recent incident of a sugar barge sinking in the Chao Phraya River, the violence in the three southernmost provinces in Thailand, the problem of drugs and crimes, as well as the higher cost of living and rising product prices. He added that Apisit would have had more advantages than Yingluck, considering his position as caretaker prime minister, but he did not succeed in conveying his contributions to the public, which explains the stagnant figures for Apisit in this survey.
Pheu Thai's party's prime ministerial candidate Yingluck Shinawat dismisses the latest ABAC poll that compares her leadership skills against the caretaker prime minister Apisit Wechashiwa. Yingluck says that the survey was only based on a group of people and not the voice of the entire nation. The recent ABAC poll revealed the respondents still preferred Apisit over Yingluck in terms of their leadership role. As there were concerns about vote buying from the latest ABAC poll, among the surveyed respondents, Yingluck denied any vote buying within her political party. She says the party is concentrating on conveying its policy to the public during their political campaigns for the public's awareness. As a reaction to an earlier statement made by Praksanti party leader Purachai Piem Somboon, which stated that the next prime minister should belong to a third party in order to solve the political conflict deadlock. Yingluck says that the next prime minister should simply come from a political party that have gathered the most votes from both the constituency and the party list systems.
And now we have a special report by Kunircha Malisak Lamia on poll analysis.
Nowadays, surveys and polls play an important role in many societies. In Thailand, for example, they are being conducted so that people can have a voice in how to improve and develop the country.
But what is a poll?
According to the definition given by the Cambridge Dictionary, a poll is a study in which people are asked for their opinions about a subject or person. During the election campaign, many polls are being conducted throughout the country. The results are being questioned, with many people asking whether these polls are accurate.
You know, when we plan to conduct a poll, we have an objective that we want to get representative sample of all voters in Thailand. So we have only one area. That is Thailand. So we have the database of all voters, or we call that people who are eligible to vote. We have about 47 point something million people in Thailand. That is a database that we need to have. And then we give chance of selection to all people in the database. Then we call that what we get from this method, we will get a representative sample, ignoring which area support party A, which area support party B. We ignore that because what we want is representative sample of all voters of Thailand.
What is the role of the poll during this election?
Our role is to be information provider. That's the main goal of pollsters. I think we believe in that because Thailand, we need information for our political situation to progress. And at this point, more than ever, we need information because we are on the verge of conflict or harmony. And that's what I believe the role of the pollster should be, information provider.
When making surveys and polls, it is purely about facts and information. As for the populist policy, pollsters have to design the questions differently for different segments of the population in order to get an answer that reflects that thinking, especially during the election period. However, a large number of Thais remain indecisive on which political party they would choose to be the next government. And would the poll actually help people to decide on this matter?
When we think about that point, it's not just poll effects that we should think about. We should think about news media effect. So we have to work together and we should give good information to the public for using it to make decision which party that they should vote for or which party that they should trust. That is the point. So not just poll that we should think about it, but we should think about mutual help between news media and pollsters.
How would the poll affect the outcome of the election?
A lot. When I say a lot, you know, we have to divide the roles of news media and the roles of pollsters. We found that about 60% of total respondents saying that the roles of news media affect their decision. What we found is that people who did not decide yet, most of them, when we think about the data that we receive from poll research projects, we found that most of them are people who were not informed enough.
What are the benefits of this for Thai voters?
At least it will spark the debate among people when they look at the statistic. Well, this is not right, or maybe this is right, or this is what I believe, this is what I don't believe. This policy looks good for me, but why don't people vote for this one? And by looking at the statistic, people start to talk, people start to turn to each other, and that's very important for democracy.
As regards rules and regulations for conducting opinion polls, pollsters will not be allowed to undertake surveys 1 week prior to the July 3rd election, as the Election Commission reasoned that voters could be unduly influenced in the last week of the election by such surveys.
I believe that people have a freedom to information, and but I understand their point of view because they think that the poll might mislead people. But I believe otherwise. I think that by giving more information, it may be harmful in certain aspects for this election, but in the long run, by not stopping the flow of information, people will become a better voter. So I think at least 7 days should be shortened for this stage to 3, 2, or maybe even 1 day.
What would the outcome be and who will win the next general election? In the end, people will need to decide on which party they would like to vote for. But of course, they will need some basic information, which is partly provided by the poll agencies. Nirasha Marisak Lami, ASEAN Newsroom.